My sister-in-law, Brenda, has a habit of masking her insults as, well, friendly advice. For 5 years, I kept the peace at family gatherings, mostly for my husband's sake. But last Thanksgiving, that peace treaty expired. My daughter Maya is 13. She was diagnosed with severe social anxiety about 2 years ago. She carries this little sketchbook everywhere she goes. Drawing is her anchor. It keeps her grounded when the room gets way too loud. I explained this to Brenda, countless, and every single time, Brenda would just roll her eyes and say, she just needs to come out of her shell. Well, at Thanksgiving dinner, there were 15 of us, crammed around the dining table. Maya was actually trying. She was talking to her older cousin about a new art class she started. Her eyes were lighting up, and her hands were moving as she explained her watercolor technique. It was a huge milestone. Then, Brenda sighed, loud enough to stop traffic. She reached right across the turkey, literally grabbed Maya's sketchbook off the table, and said, Maya, sweetie, put the crutch away. It's time to join the real world and act like a normal teenager. Maya froze, the color completely drained from her face. She shrank back into her chair, her eyes glued to her lap. She didn't speak another word for the rest of the meal. I sat there, gripping my napkin, feeling the heat rise in my chest. Then, Brenda turned to my mother and whispered, but not quietly enough. It's just lazy parenting, letting a kid hide behind a notebook. I stood up. My chair scraped loudly against the hardwood floor. Brenda, I said, my voice dangerously calm. Give me the book. She blinked, still holding it hostage. I'm just trying to help her. No, I cut her off. You are embarrassing a child in front of her entire family to make yourself feel superior. That isn't help, Brenda. That is cruelty. My husband touched my arm. Babe, let's just calm down. I looked right at him. I am calm, but I am done. I turned back to Brenda. You will never, ever speak about my daughter's mental health again. In fact, until you learn how to respect her, you are not welcome in our home. Brenda scoffed, looking around the table for backup. You're kicking me out over a doodle pad? I am kicking you out, I told her, because you are a bully, and I don't allow bullies at my dinner table. She left before the pumpkin pie was even served. My husband was upset at first, but when he saw Maya quietly crying in her room later that night, he finally understood. The next morning, Maya came down for breakfast. She slid a folded piece of paper across the kitchen island. It was a beautiful watercolor painting of a mama bear standing fiercely in front of her little cub, and underneath, in her messy 13-year-old handwriting, it just said, "Thank you, Mom."